So it's great to see everybody. It's been a while since I've been on this platform to do a live video, and I'm excited to be back here. And I just want to share some things that have been going on for me. I'm just give me a minute here because I just want to make sure I'm actually live. I'm just checking on my, I see the live. So as you're watching, just give me a thumbs up that you can see this and hear this. I'm able to see this on my mobile. So I hope that that you're with me here. And as Facebook sends the notifications out that I am live, thank you for joining me. I want to share a little bit about what's been going on. Like I said, it's been a while since I've done a live video on this platform. And there's just been so much going on over the past few months, probably since the late fall and through the holidays into the last month or so. I've actually had to step back from doing some things. I used to do videos on YouTube like 3 days a week. I've only been doing them once a week. I've had to step back from some other responsibilities as well, because there's just been so much happening, so much change, so much things that's pulling on my attention that is a priority. I've spent a lot of time in the hospitals over the past 6 to 8 weeks. There's been lifestyle changes. At one point we were looking to buy a new home, and that's been crazy. And over the past 2 or 3 weeks, we've decided to stay put and just completely declutter this place. So there's been a lot of change going on simultaneously. My family is moving to North Carolina, my mom and my sister and her kids and all of that. So there's just a lot of change happening in flux. And I've needed time to kind of step back, digest a lot of what's been going on, and to move through some of these things, because some of these things have not been easy. They've commanded a lot of time. And not just time doing things, but time to move through them mentally, emotionally, spiritually. And if you have a lot going on in your life, you probably recognize it's not always a lot of doing. Sometimes we have to process things, and it takes a lot of energy to do that. And very often in doing that, we wind up getting stuck, and we lose momentum in going where we want to go, in the things that we love to do. And that's what I want to talk about today, just how to find more freedom when you are in that place of stuckness, where you feel like you've lost your momentum. You're just doing everything possible just to kind of tread water for the moment. So you're kind of almost in survival mode, just trying to make ends meet, right? Just trying to keep the wheels on the bus. Who can relate to that, right? If you can relate to like just trying to keep the wheels of your life bus going without the wheels falling off, like smash that heart button, give me like yes in the comment, type yes in the comment, because that's where I've been for the past number of months. And I feel like I'm finally starting to come through a lot of these things. And I want to speak to some of these things and some of the things I've been doing to work through this stuckness to gain more freedom. Now, earlier in the week, I made a post that talked about making the decision not to move over the past few weeks and to stay put here in the condo. And this condo, it's a small 2-bedroom, 2-bath condo. It's like 1,100 square feet. And so staying put means I have to get really efficient about how to use this space, because, with 4 of us here and 2 kids that are now teenagers, they're not little kids anymore, bigger boys, bigger toys, essentially. And so, there's been a lot of clutter that I've had to clear out. And in that post, I made a picture of everything that came out of my kids' room. And I had gone through, there weren't a lot of old clothes because I do that every season, but in their closet, there were toys that went back to like when they were 4 and 5 years old, and they're like teenagers now. So to go through some of the stuff, we kind of had a little bit of fun doing it. It was an opportunity to go down memory lane for them. And they were able to sort through some of the things that they wanted to keep and some of the things that they wanted to, a lot of the things that they wanted to get rid of or donate. It was really fun to do. Now, my family, who is moving to North Carolina, my sister and my mom, I was there 3 weeks ago to help my mom begin getting her place ready to sell. So there again, I'm in the home that I grew up in my childhood, and a lot of things from years ago I'm seeing from my childhood coming up. And what I was recognizing was I still had these attachments to things from my childhood that were still in my mom's home. And whether they belong to my dad or they belong to me or they belong to whoever, right? We had to go through, and like that was a lot of fun to do. It was kind of like reliving aspects of the early parts of my life. But there was also this part that I realized that these attachments were kind of holding me back. There were aspects of my life that I was actually holding on to. I was staying attached to, not necessarily, yes, in that moment, physical things, there were physical things, but on the drive home, I started getting curious and I was realizing that there were things from my childhood that I've been holding on to that aren't serving me anymore as an adult, as a 54-year-old man. Just like my kids' toys that they had in the back of their closet weren't serving them as teenagers, I too was holding on to things within that weren't serving me anymore. They served me great when I was a child and growing up, but as a 54-year-old man, they're not serving me so well anymore. And it's time to let that stuff go. So there's been a lot of clearing of clutter, not just the physical clutter. And sometimes the physical clutter feels overwhelming to clear that stuff, especially if you haven't done it in a while. Maybe you're that person. Maybe you have a house and there's a lot of clutter around, and just the thought of doing one room, it just, you can't even fathom doing it. But I want to encourage you to do it. Just get started doing a little bit at a time. Maybe you do a corner of the room or a closet. Just get started and make 3 piles. The stuff that you want to keep, the stuff that you want to sell, and the stuff that you want to donate. And with the stuff that you want to keep, because there may be some things before you know it, you go through some of this stuff and you find it, you want to keep everything because there is this attachment to it. But I put a rule in place for myself, and that is if I have not looked at it or used it in the past 5 years, 3 to 5 years, I'm getting rid of it. I'm getting rid of it. So when I went through my master bedroom closet, I had bins of stuff that I had in there. I used to have a storage unit. And when I stopped working for corporate America, I got rid of the storage unit and I moved everything into the condo here, into the back of my closet. And I had probably 8 or 10 bins, storage bins. And in those storage bins, I had IT books from my IT career. I haven't been in my IT career for it'll be 4 years in a couple of months. I have no intention of going back to IT. And many of them are outdated anyhow. So I got rid of all of them. I had a pair of rollerblades. I don't think I've worn those for 15 years. I got rid of them. I have my stereo system out in the living room. I haven't played that thing since I moved here. I think I played it once, and it's from the 90s, right? It plays CDs. It sounds great, but I never use it. It's clutter. It's taking up space. Out of here. I'm getting rid of it. I have old records from when I was a kid growing up through my teenage years until CDs came out. I have a whole box of records. There's probably 150, 175 records, getting rid of those. Old clothes from when I was working in corporate America that I had in the closet on the hanger, got rid of those. Like I got rid of 6 or 8 bins of stuff and 6 garbage bags of clothes I donated. And my closet is almost like, other than the stuff I use regularly, it's like my closet was just about emptied out, the whole back of the closet. It was amazing. Even my kids' closets, going through that stuff, we just freed up a ton of stuff and created more living space to be able to live more efficiently. And it felt so free to do that. It felt so free to do that. And as I've been doing that, as I was sharing before, there's stuff inside of me that I've been holding on to since I was a kid that I've also been kind of purging and releasing. And that feels freeing too, because this stuff isn't going to be holding me back as I move into this next stage of my life this year. As I begin moving into the new life that I'm beginning to create in the condo here, living more efficiently, living more vibrantly, and really looking forward to massively moving forward in the spring, just feeling in momentum again, loving everything that I'm doing, not being bogged down in all of the minutia of the moment commanding my attention, but really getting back to the things that my heart really desires doing. And that's serving people powerfully in whatever capacity that I'm serving in. It is being present in everything that I'm doing, as opposed to being in split energy and scattered. How many can relate to that, where you feel like, you know, you have so much going on and it's like a split energy. You're constantly thinking about different things. You get distracted in the middle of things, and really just coming back to living presently, living grounded and presently, and just trying to give full attention to everything that I'm doing, because I don't have emergencies that I'm dealing with. I don't have to worry so much about caring for other people as much. I can really zero in and begin caring for myself first. Caring for myself first. And maybe, you know, that's something you can relate to. Thank you everybody. I see Teresa and Tresson and Irma, Kathy, Carol, good morning. Thank you for joining me. You know, if there's anything that you're relating to here, share that in the comments, because, you know, I would love to speak to those through my own experience. It's been a crazy few number of months here. And, you know, I know we all have a lot going on, but that's part of the reason why I wanted to share this, because there's always a lot going on. Sometimes it's more than other times. That was the case for me over the past few months. But I wanted to share some of the things that I've been doing and beginning to do to help find my freedom, so that you can find your freedom, so that you can get out of your stuckness and begin feeling momentum. And as spring starts to turn here, it's been like 60 degrees here the past 3 days in New Jersey. It's been amazing for February. And it feels like spring is in the air. There's a vitality of like coming back to life, if you will, that it's a wind that's kind of caught my sails, especially these past 3 days. And I hope that you, wherever you happen to be, whether the physical weather is cooperating with you to feel that or not, I want to encourage you to feel that freshness of air coming through your life, and doing these things to find the freedom that you are also probably on the lookout for if you're feeling stuck. Kathy says, I've been doing a lot of that decluttering as well, both internal and external. And Kathy, I'm kind of curious, like, how does that feel? Because I don't know about for you, but for me, the external decluttering feels amazing. Of course, you know, when you walk into the house and it's clean and you have more space to do things, that's awesome. But I find like when we do the internal decluttering, it's a different kind of freedom that you feel. It's like a liberating kind of freedom. Yeah. Yeah. And so I would love to continue this conversation. And if you're watching this video, let me know in the comments, you know, where you're at, what you're doing. Kathy says, yes, the internal decluttering has been so freeing. Absolutely. Absolutely. And so again, with spring in the air, I want to encourage you to take a little bit of time today or maybe this weekend and think about what you can get rid of. What are you actually, before that, what are you feeling attached to? And how is it serving you? Is it holding you back? And if it is, let it go, release it. If it's something physical, donate it, sell it, but allow yourself to become more detached from things and from circumstances that may have happened that are kind of holding you angry, or holding you in a place of victimhood, or holding you in a place of regret. I agree. Hey, Carol, it's good to see you. So I just wanted to pop on here for this short video. If you like this video, I want to encourage you, go out to my YouTube channel. Just look for Dom Campbell Online, D-O-M Campbell Online. And my videos are there. I have a YouTube channel. There's over 100 videos now that I've been posting all different kinds of stuff like this, tips and tricks and ways to allow you to begin really stepping into your greatness so that you can begin living an amazing life, a much more amazing life. You may think you have a great life, but it can be greater. There's always opportunity to better ourselves, to improve ourselves. And I really want to encourage you to take the time to do that. Carol, I just saw your comment. She shares, I've done internal decluttering the last few months, and some is painful and some is so refreshing. It's true, right? Some of that is painful and some is so refreshing. But Carol, I don't know if my experience with this has been in moving through some of the painful stuff. It's like we have to have our breakdown in order to have our breakthrough. And the bigger the breakdown, the bigger the breakthrough. So when we can truly let go of this stuff, we can truly move forward. And often it's leaps and bounds forward that we get to experience. The sense of freedom is that great. But we have to trust the process. We have to trust the process of letting go. We have to trust the process of allowing ourselves to grow and trusting our heart in terms of where it's leading us to go, that it knows best. It knows best. Kathy shares, I've had to have a number of tough conversations as I let go of stuff. Those conversations with yourself, right, Kathy? And those are some of the toughest conversations to have, are the ones with yourself, when you have to be honest with yourself. Because some of the stuff we've been holding on to for a long time, whether it's physical stuff or clutter that's going on inside our own nervous system or in our mind, we've been holding on to it for a long time. Yeah. Yeah. So, yep, I absolutely agree with everything that's being shared in the comments. People are relating to this experience. So if this is something that is speaking to you, definitely take a little bit of time. It doesn't take a lot of time to sit down and figure out, what you're feeling attached to. Maybe it's something, a possession, but maybe it is something that's going on the inside. And then decide, is it serving you well, holding on to it, or would it be better to let it go? And in letting go, allowing yourself to then step forward in the direction that you want to go without that attachment holding you back. Yes, Carol, your heart does know best. Our heart and our soul is where our truth resides. It does know best. And we're actually taught not to listen to our heart, because sometimes it doesn't make sense where our heart leads us to go, doesn't make sense to our logical mind. And so there's some fear that's drummed up. And I want to encourage, like, when that fear drums up, really become curious as to why that fear is there, and trust yourself, trust where your heart is leading you. When we step into that power from within, that truth from within, that place where God is speaking to you from within, it's never wrong. It's divine. It's divinely created. Yes. And so again, I hope that this video was of value to you. Go out to my YouTube channel, check out the videos I have there. All the videos are like 10 minutes or less. There's about 100 of them, over 100 of them. All different kinds of topics and subjects similar to this, to improve your life, to improve your situations, to help you feel better, and to move forward in some particular aspect of your life that maybe you're feeling stuck in. So it's been great to be live again today. Thank you for joining me. If you're watching the replay of this, share in the comments your thoughts, your feelings, because I want to be able to engage with you and have a conversation with you about this, even if you couldn't be watching live. Carol is sharing, when my fear kicks in gear, I talk with God. Absolutely. Absolutely. I do the same thing. I get into a quiet, meditative place and I just have a conversation. I used to have conversations in the car on my way to work because I had like over an hour commute, and I would sit in the car with no music on, and I would just like have these conversations, and almost like divine downloads that would come to me. And since I don't have that hour and 15-minute commute back and forth every day, I actually have to become intentional and purposeful to create that time every day, even if it's just for 10 minutes. Yeah. And that's where I find direction as well. That's where I get my direction. I can really tune into like, what should I be doing? Where should I be going? What is true for me from here, not from here so much. Yes. Awesome. So I want to keep this short. I don't want to have this half an hour video. I just wanted to kind of come on, share what's been going on, and yeah, and support you wherever you may be, because I know this time of year with the new year coming out of the holidays, and with spring, this is a timely subject, and I hope that you're getting value from it. I love you all, and I look forward to seeing you more on here or out in my YouTube community. Take care.